The afternoon, the quarterback rotation was back in full force at practice. Any further discussion about playing time with the starting position with any assistant coaches or anybody else was mute at this point. I did, however, continue to discuss schemes, strategies, game plans, play the whole 9 yards with these assistants. About this time, the athletic director and I noticed a negative attitude from 3 assistant coaches. The athletic director called me into a meeting and informed me that we had a group of assistants that were undermining our football program, our players, and me as a head coach through statements they were making in public. He advised me that he planned to have a staff meeting the following day with all staff members present. He also instructed me that he wanted me to continue my efforts as a football coach, and that from this point forward he would handle all problems with these 3 assistant coaches. At that staff meeting, the athletic director told these assistants that such conduct would not be tolerated, that they were to support the head coach's decision. At this point, I would like to ask Coach Henderson to verify that such a meeting took place. Coach, after this meeting was held, I was very disappointed no progress noticed in the attitude of the 3 assistants. Coach Henderson and I both asked these assistants, Coach as a defense coordinator, to attend meetings prepared with all your stats. When you come in on Sunday afternoon, be prepared with all your stats, so don't have to worry about stats in our meetings. That part can be done. Some assistants attended Sunday staff meetings unprepared. They used profanity towards players and continued to use tobacco products after being asked to refrain from chewing and tobacco-free campus signs being posted. These were typical problems we were experiencing from these coaches. I addressed these issues with the athletic director. No action was taken. The profanity towards players got so bad that we started receiving numerous phone calls from parents, and parents began to schedule conferences with these coaches and administrators to address and put an end to this problem. I would like to ask Coach Hushberger to confirm that there were multiple phone calls and meetings with parents regarding profanity and treatment of players. Now I would like to ask Mr. Ward if he had any meetings with parents regarding profanity and mistreatment of assistant coaches or of assistant coaches toward players.
We have a meeting with you, Hunsberger, assistant coach, and the parents.
Thank you. Please refer to the information sheets and it will state the parents involved in these meetings and the specific coaches and administrators they met with. In fact, profanity by a coach led to one of my most embarrassing moments as a coach here at 96 High School. While the Siloam Baptist Church, who came every Wednesday, usually sometimes on Tuesday, to give our varsity team a devotion and prayer, one afternoon while we were doing that, while the JVs were practicing, the pastor was praying with the varsity team, and while the JVs were practicing on the other end of the field, and the assistant coach of the JV yelled obscenities toward the junior varsity team. It was loud enough that everyone could hear it. It became obvious to me that these 3 assistants had lost a passion for coaching the Wildcats because of their disagreement of how the quarterback situation was being handled. As far as their threats to quit, I have never known of any professional organization that tolerates threats and ultimatums from players or from employees. However, in the event that these assistants carry through with these threats, they have already had several faculty members to step up and offer to coach football next year if I need them to. In all honesty, I'm shocked these threats from these 3 assistant coaches are even on the document. It is also stated that I refuse to implement assistant coaches' recommendations after agreeing their ideas have merit and need to be implemented. I implemented any recommendation I felt had merit, regardless of where it came from. The quarterback coach and offensive coordinator stated that I agreed to allow them to have a huge part in deciding the offense and best players for each position. This goes back to the quarterback situation. I did allow my assistants to have inputs on our decisions. However, I didn't allow them to make the final decision. That was what I was getting paid to do. Part B of this accusation states that after the Adville game, the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach would meet with me on Wednesdays to discuss the quarterback situation. I did meet with these assistants until a pair of meetings occurred. The first meeting being a meeting called by the quarterback coach with myself and the offensive coordinator and AD. In that particular meeting, the quarterback coach stated that his feeling about who should be the quarterback would not change, that he had nothing further to say about it. The second being the meeting with the superintendent and principal about quarterback playing time. After this, there was no need to have these special meetings to take place because there was nothing else to talk about. Both quarterbacks will play in every game, period. From time to time, I call senior meetings to discuss the season and goals of our team. In a meeting heading into the regional schedule, seniors expressed concern about going back to 2 quarterback systems. They also said he felt that I was being pressured as to which quarterbacks to play. They asked that I do what I thought was best for the team. I attempted to deny that I was being influenced in any way, but it was clear that they knew better. They also expressed concern about these 3 assistants and the level of commitment they had for our football team. They recognized the divisions in our staff and did not feel 3 assistants were there for the right reasons or cared about them. I attempted to downplay this situation in order to protect the reputation of these coaches. However, the true fact is I agreed with what they were saying. You have the letter that the seniors talked about that I gave. The next area of accusation deals with statements I am accused of making. I am accused of saying, if you think there is a quarterback controversy this year, wait until next year. And yeah, I did say that statement. Here's why I said it. We have an upcoming junior quarterback who's talented. And he's going to have the right to compete for that position just like anybody else does. And I've already been approached and questioned by some fans over what kind of opportunity this player is going to have to earn the starting quarterback position. My answer to them has always been he will have the same opportunity as everyone else on this football team. The next statement I'm accused of making is, our assistant coaches were unprofessional because of who their friends were and who they went to games with. I did make this statement, or make a similar statement. It became very apparent that these 3 assistants had social and personal relationships that were directly interfering with their jobs as head coach or as coaches for the Lancet Wildcats. And I retracted my statement to Coach Huntsberger, and Coach Peter was in there too, and changed and quickly stated unprofessional is probably the wrong word. But close social relationships with parents of players can affect the judgment and performance of a coaching staff. I do not endorse or recommend this, and I told these coaches just that. I also asked that these families, or that the families of the coaches, sit together on Friday nights to kind of show unity in what is perceived as a divided staff. Families did not. They had get-togethers at my house after home football games to try to bring unity together. Went along fine until game 4. Stopped coming. I'm accused of saying I did not discipline right, I did not handle some things at all, and I was overwhelmed in my first year. I was overwhelmed. But it wasn't because of any football operations or anything happening on the field. It was all the political hogwash surrounding this team. All these statements were taken out of context. I'll admit, I wasn't perfect in every aspect. Did a lot of things wrong. Did a lot of things right, too. But I did the best I could as a first-year coach under these terrible conditions. What I said was, because of outside influence and because of problems we are creating ourselves, we can't discipline right. And some things we can't even handle at all. These things are overwhelming our football program. And like I said, I was overwhelmed by some of what I said earlier. The real truth in my 20 years experience, the real truth is my 20 years experience did not fully prepare me or anybody else for the whirlwind of non-football issues surrounding and dictating this past season.